It's been a while since we did one of these bad boys, but we're looking at Rangers' 2018 January signings. It was the only window that Graham Murty had. And could he take Rangers to the promised land? No, of course, he got sacked later on that season. And then we brought Stevie G in, and things ended up alright, I guess. But he made 6 signings. A lot of them, 4 of them, were loan deals. One was about 800,000, and one for a certain DJ was undisclosed. So we're going to dive into it. There's 6 to get into. It's not exactly spectacular names value here. Like, there's no Aaron Ramseys, there's no, Morelos, there's no Kent. But there is Russell Martin, and I did initially put the last category as utter shite, but they've actually blurred that out. There we go, but I can type it in. Utter shite, there we go. Russell Martin. It was, it really was the fucking banter years, wasn't it? Russell Martin, of course, now manages Southampton. That's really got nothing to do with what he did at Rangers. He joined us on loan, played about 16 games, and did nothing. And it's going to go in utter shite, because this guy, the guy was 32. It's not like he was done. Came in with a wealthy experience, like 280 games or something for Norwich. We're bringing this guy in. You think you're going to get something decent, and it was far from decent, man. It was absolutely abysmal from him, if I'm being real. Up next, we've got Jamie Murphy, initially on a 6-month loan, and then we made it permanent in the actual window when Gerrard took over. I'm going to put... it's between... I'm actually going to put him in good. I actually think Jamie Murphy was one of, like, along with Morelos, he was like one of the few shining lights that season, if you can remember. And I actually think Jamie Murphy, for like his first season and a bit, was actually good. I genuinely think that. But that's where all these praises end here, folks. Up next, we've got Greg Docherty. He came in for about 750,000 from Hamilton. Yeah, I mean, see when you're lining up against Celtic and Old Firms with the likes of Greg Docherty and Sean Goss in your midfield, that's a recipe for disaster. And I'm not gonna fuck it. I'm gonna put him in utter shite in front of Martin though. I was gonna put him in poor, but that's a pretty hefty fee at 100,000, man, for a guy it's just not all that good in the large scheme of things. Up next though, with Declan John. Declan. This guy makes Barisic look like fucking Roberto Carlos. Yeah. He had a couple of alright games, so I'm going to put him poor, but it's bottom of poor, top of utter shite for these two, honestly. Just not that good, if we're being honest about it. And we've already did 4. Up next, we've got Cumdog. We've got Jason Cummins. I'm going to put him above Declan John. I don't think he was absolutely horrendous, but at the same time, he wasn't exactly great. I mean, he got a few goals for Rangers. I remember sitting there at the time. I mean, obviously it's about 5.5 years ago, but I remember sitting there thinking, yo, this is a good signing. I was still making fids, obviously, then, so I'm going to assume he made a fid. I remember definitely thinking, oh, we've signed Jason Cummins here on loan. That's a really good signing. Is it really, looking back on it? I think it just shows you like how much the standards have risen for Rangers over the past 5 years, because just look at the calibre of players we're signing here. Fucking shite is what I'm going to say. Even like fast forward like 4 years later, like you're signing Aaron Ramsey on loan. Like, what the fuck? Imagine if Aaron Ramsey looked at this window and went, here, am I joining with those jabronis? But then again, in the same window we signed Ramsey, we did sign Sarkowski, who I need to make a fid on. I completely forgot that. He actually left today. Shit, I need to make a fid on that. He's pissed, like, it doesn't really matter, but he's away. And then finally, we've got Sean Goss. I'm going to put him just in front of Greg Docherty. Yeah, not a very good player, him and Greg. Well, I mean, that is dark days for Rangers midfield, and I think that's about right. I think if you wanted to put Murphy and not Murphy, if you wanted to put Cummins and Declan John and utter shite, I would have no disagreement with you. But I feel like Jamie Murphy for that 6 month loan that he gave us, he was actually quite good. And even like a wee bit into the Gerrard spell, he was good as well. Crucial goals, I remember him scoring. But all in all, his whole Rangers career, it was poor. But for that 6 months, I'll put him in good. Anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. And until next time, we'll do 2017 summer. Sometimes I'll do like the full season, like 17-18 for example. But obviously, if there's like 25 signings, which there is sometimes, it's too much hassle. But anyway, till tomorrow, well, till later on or whenever. Peace.